Hi guys. So the purpose of today's video is to tell you a little bit of a story about something that I made out to be so much bigger than it actually was. So some of you might be familiar with the practice known as heart congruence or congruence, depending on how you prefer to pronounce it. The jury's still out. I don't know which one I prefer, so I use them interchangeably. So you'll hear me using both pronunciations. And this particular practice of heart congruence or heart congruence was, up until recently, something that I referred to as heart coherence. And what I've since learned is there's a fine distinction between heart coherence and heart congruence. Whilst the output, the end result is the same, the way in which we do the practice is slightly different. And what happened is the element where, I'm trying to get my words out, the physical touch part of this particular practice. So if you're familiar with it, you'll know that we close down our eyes and then we take either two fingers or the palm of our hand and place it at the center of our chest. That particular part of the practice is something that, as I was learning how to use this method, this technique, this heart coherent, heart congruent practice, it's something that I fussed over internally in my mind for months and months and months and months before I finally made peace with it. And I want to tell you a little bit about that today. So to just give you some context, the heart congruence practice is a bit of an amalgamation, and it's adapted from the HeartMath Institute's practice of heart coherence, which is a guerrilla style practice which you can do with your eyes open without that element of the physical touch, and also Greg Braden's heart resonance. And so Ricky Jane Adams has kind of adapted these practices and added some other elements with the eyes closed, that breath deepened, that physical touch at the center of your chest, to create heart congruence as a practice. Same outcome, as I said. That practice is quite literally the entry point into non-local intuition. It is how we as intuitive guides energetically prepare ourselves to access information. Now, once you get to a point where you've done it so often, it becomes something that, that physical touch, and it happens instantly rather than moving into that space as we do with that guided practice. But that takes time and that takes practice. And for those of you who know, you'll know that I've done the 12-month third level training with the Institute for Intuitive Intelligence with Ricky Jane Adams herself. And as we learn to be an intuitive guide, we do this practice, this heart congruence practice, a lot. A lot. Like, it is a non-negotiable practice. So what I found myself doing is, with the Initiate program, which is the 12-week intuitive intelligence program that is the prerequisite for the third level, which I am now qualified to teach, and I'm teaching it. I've called it Activating Your Intuitive Intelligence. That's my title for it. I am now qualified and certified to teach that. More on that another time. But that prerequisite program is where you first learn this practice. And so for 12 weeks doing that online, and then moving into the third level not too long after that, actually. I think I did it sort of at the end of 2017, and then I started the third level in January 2018. It wasn't until about partway through the 2018 12-month long intensive program. Oh, sorry, I got a low battery notification. Hopefully that didn't freeze the video for too long. But I was well and truly months into this 12-month program before I realized that all of this worrying I'd been doing about this physical touch was irrelevant. So let me tell you the story. When we do this practice, you close down your eyes, you deepen your breath, and you take either two fingers or the palm of your hand to the center of your chest. And I used to worry about whether what I was doing with my hand, the other two fingers and thumb, when I was using the two fingers to touch the center of my chest, I used to freak out that I was doing the wrong thing with the rest of my hand. And I'd overthink it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, am I doing it right? And I'd try to look at what other people were doing and watch Ricky when she was doing it and see what was happening. Only to realize that what was happening with the rest of my hand was not relevant. The most important thing was that localized touch, that two fingers or the palm of your hand, but in this instance it was the two fingers, was gently placed at the center of your chest. That physical touch signals to your physiology and your nervous system that you are deferring to the wisdom of your heart's intelligence, that cluster of 40-odd thousand neural cells that is that gateway, that portal to the infinite and to your intuitive intelligence, right? And so I, for months, freaked out about whether I was doing the right thing with my hand. And then it eventually melted away. So what I want to share with you today is that it doesn't matter what you do with the rest of your hand, whether you use 2 fingers or the palm of your hand. What is important is that the physical touch is there. It's signaling to your physiology that you're moving out of your cranial brain and down into this space, and that you are activating here. You are operating from here. How you do that does not matter. What you do with your hands does not matter, as long as that physical touch is there, and that you are still, and that you are taking your attention here. So I want to let you know that if you are anything like me, and it seems so absurd right now, but it's a story that I wanted to share with you. If you're anything like me and you're wondering whether you're doing it right, what is most important with this is that the way you are using your hand, however that is just bringing that gentle touch to the center of your chest. That's all that matters. That's as complex as it gets. It's no more difficult or involved than that. And it doesn't matter whether it's the 2 fingers or the palm of your hand, whether you've got one hand or the other one on the top. It does not matter. What's important is that there's that physical touch there at the center of your chest. So I wanted to share that with you today. If you have any questions about that, hopefully that's clear enough and it doesn't leave you with any questions. But if you have any questions about the practice of heart congruence, then please do get in touch and let me know. Otherwise, I would love to see you guys in my upcoming program, Activating Your Intuitive Intelligence. This is one of the practices that we learn and that we do as part of the program. It's 10 weeks online. You might be interested in the in-person Brisbane workshop as well. I've got dates secured for the 1st of March and the 29th of Feb. So 29th of Feb and 1st of March. It's a 2-day workshop in person here in Brisbane, and I've booked and secured Soul Space in Newmarket, which is about 6 k's north of the CBD. So if in-person tickles your fancy and you prefer that more, and locally wise you're actually in the area, then I'd love to have you register your interest. So if you need a link for that, please do get in touch and let me know. But otherwise, I'd love to see you in the online version. It's 10 weeks. It's a beautiful deep dive. You learn how to move from just being intuitive to actually activating your intuitive intelligence, which is that innate intuition that we all have. It's like a muscle and you just need to practice, and combining that with spiritual self-esteem, which is receiving that intuition and then also trusting it and acting upon it, which is really, really key. That's how we become intuitive intelligent. So I would love to have you there. If you have any questions, please do get in touch. But I hope that this story has lightened your day a little bit, and that you get a little bit of an insight into the inner workings of my mind and how we can sometimes fuss about things that are completely not relevant and not important. Take care, and I'll see you all really soon. Bye for now.